Number 10. Iran between ancient civilization and modern tensions. Iran is one of the world's oldest civilizations, yet modern life there is dominated by missiles, sanctions, fluctuating exchange rates, and ongoing regional crises. The country sits at the crossroads of the Middle East, Central Asia, and South Asia, and controls the northern coast of the Strait of Hormuz, the most vital sea lane for global oil shipments. In 2024, approximately 20 million barrels of oil and petroleum products passed through the Hormuz Strait daily, equivalent to nearly 1/5 of global oil consumption. More than a quarter of all oil transported by sea also passes through this narrow waterway. Therefore, any confrontation in Iran could quickly increase transportation costs, insurance costs, and energy prices in many countries. Iran has an unusual political system. While the people elect the president and parliament, final power remains concentrated in the supreme leader and religious, judicial, and security institutions that are not directly elected by the people. Despite numerous financial and trade restrictions, Iran maintains a large economy thanks to its oil and gas resources, domestic market, domestic production, and highly educated workforce. However, inflation, the devaluation of the rial, and difficulties in international payments continue to reduce the real income of its citizens. Paradoxes are everywhere. Gasoline is kept low thanks to subsidies, but food and imports can rise rapidly in price. Iran trains many engineers, doctors, and programmers. But internet users often have to use VPNs to access familiar platforms. The government wants to build a national internet network that it can control, while its citizens are constantly seeking ways to connect with the outside world. Iran, therefore, is not just an ancient empire that still exists on the map. It is a modern nation trying to maintain normal life amidst vast resources, economic pressures, technological control, and geopolitical tensions. And this is what astonished me most. Despite thousands of harsh sanctions and near-total isolation from the global financial system, Iran's GDP is growing at 2 to 3% annually, reaching $450 billion. They achieved this by selling oil on the black market to Asia and building one of the most self-sufficient and resilient economies on the planet. But these numbers are just the surface. Beneath them is a society where gasoline is cheaper than bottled water, where young people open flight radar 24 every morning to check if any missiles are flying overhead, and where women, you wouldn't believe it, have turned Iran into the world's capital of rhinoplasty. Number 9. Iranian women, beauty and defiance in life. To understand Iran, you must begin with the people who live there, especially the half of the population that the rest of the world misunderstands the most. Iranian women, rebellious beauty beneath the black veil. Behind every chador in Tehran lies a face the world is taught not to see. And once you see it, you will understand why Persian poetry has spent 2,000 years writing about a single pair of eyes. Persian women possess a beauty that seems almost sculpted. Large almond-shaped eyes set deep within thick, arched eyebrows. Their fair or honey bronze complexions stand out against the muted black of their chador headscarves, which, paradoxically, accentuate their features rather than soften them. High cheekbones, a delicate Roman nose, full lips, a face that is both Eastern and Western, yet not entirely belonging to either. But here's where all your preconceptions vanish. This country is the world's capital of rhinoplasty, performing 7 times more nose surgeries per capita than the United States. And strangest of all, women wear bandages after surgery as a status symbol. Many keep them on for weeks longer than necessary. Some who have never had cosmetic surgery wear fake bandages because in Tehran, The small white strip across the nose whispers, "I have money, and I take care of myself." Then there's the makeup. Iranian law requires women to cover their hair and bodies, leaving only their faces and hands exposed. Thus, the face becomes a stage. Sharp, cat-eye eyeliner, smoky eyeshadow, meticulously groomed eyelashes. It's not vanity, but a quiet rebellion displayed every morning. And here's a fact that will make you think twice. Over 60% of Iranian university students are female. They dominate in medicine, engineering, and science at the country's top universities. However, only a small fraction of them enter the formal workforce, a generation of talent trapped behind traditional doors. And then there are temporary marriage contracts. Iranian law allows two people to legally marry for an hour, a few days, or a few years for a small fee paid to the woman. Young couples use it as a religious loophole to date, hold hands, and even live together without being arrested by Gashte or Shad, the fearsome moral police force. And I want to tell you a secret. I had a conversation with an Iranian student in Isfahan. He said, "We have two faces, one for the streets and one for private life. Don't confuse the outward face with the real face." That statement explains Iran more than any documentary. If you had to describe Iranian women in just one word, what would you choose? Mysterious, strong, taboo. Leave your choice in the comments below. Number 8. Where law blends with music. Living in the shadow of war, the Persian art of survival. In Iran, the first thing people check in the morning isn't the weather, it's the exchange rate. Before brushing their teeth, millions of Iranians open hidden apps to see how much the rial has depreciated against the US dollar overnight. That figure determines whether they rush to the market to stock up on rice or wait another day. This is daily life in a country gripped by thousands of sanctions, where inflation is so high that a carton of milk can cost more at sunset than at dawn. Yet, Tehran's avenues are still congested during rush hour. Cafes are still crowded. Children still walk to school. Iranians have made a quiet decision. Fear will not be able to freeze their lives. But pressure still creeps in through invisible channels. Cancer patients seek chemotherapy drugs on the black market because sanctions have silently prevented their use. Freelancers lose all their income overnight as the government tightens internet controls for security reasons. A generation of young people drifts in precarious situations, unable to emigrate, yet unwilling to surrender. So how do they survive with 4 weapons? First, it's dark humor. On nights, when missile alerts are high, Iranian social media isn't filled with tears, but with satirical images mocking every faction in the conflict. Laughter is their free antidepressant. Second, family. When the macroeconomy collapses, the microeconomy based on kinship rises. People quietly contribute cash, gold, jewels, even medicine. No one is left alone to fight. Third, technology smuggling. Every Iranian owns at least 3 VPNs. Satellite antennas are hidden in flower pots on balconies. Number 7. The dark side of Iran. Scarcity has revived the oldest Persian virtue, creating things from nothing. This isn't survival. This is mastery disguised as normal life. But behind every resilient nation lies a darker truth. A truth that Iran strives to conceal. Every paradise has a basement, and the Iranian sky is much darker than what most tourists are allowed to see. Let's start with the border. Iran shares nearly 621,371 miles of rugged, mountainous border with Afghanistan, the world's largest opium producer. Geographically, Iran sits right in the middle of the drug trade route toward Europe. As a result, Iran has one of the highest rates of addiction in the world. Walking through some of the city's dangerous neighborhoods after midnight, you'll find homeless addicts, known as carton kabi, in public parks just a few blocks from upscale cafes. Meanwhile, in the desert provinces of Sistan and Baluchistan, Iran has lost more than 4,000 soldiers and border guards in clashes with heavily armed drug cartels. This is a war the world never reports on. Now look up. Look at the cameras. After the protests that rocked the world, the Iranian government hasn't loosened its control over women. They've shifted to a digital form. Tens of thousands of AI-powered surveillance cameras are now scanning streets, highways, and even subway cars. If a woman lets her headscarf slip down while driving, the system scans her face, reads her license plate, and automatically sends a fine notification to her phone within minutes. In serious cases, her car is remotely confiscated. Imagine this: walking down your own street, knowing that an algorithm is assessing your compliance in real time. Just a few strands of hair are enough to escape a summons from the moral police. This is the part of Iran that isn't mentioned in travel guides. A country where addiction and surveillance form two invisible walls, one made of opium poppies, the other of programming code. Both silently suffocate 89 million people, yet somehow, Iranians still open their doors to strangers as if they were family. Number 5. The only country where strangers have to compete to get food for you. After everything you've just witnessed, sanctions, missiles, surveillance cameras, you'd think Iranians would be cold, suspicious, and withdrawn. The truth is quite the opposite, and that might be the most shocking thing about the country. Iranians treat hospitality like a religion. They even have a word for it: memandarvatsi. There's an old Persian proverb, "The guest is God's favorite," and they take that literally to the point where two strangers can argue, sometimes shouting, right in the middle of a restaurant just to get to the bill. You'll always lose that argument. Backpackers tell the same story over and over again. You ask the shopkeeper for directions. 20 minutes later, you're sitting in his living room. In Iran, unlike most places in the world, people offer free shelter to strangers, not in defiance of the regime, but as a challenge to it. Their kindness is a form of silent resistance. The government may hate your country, but we do not. Many visitors describe leaving Iran in tears, not out of fear, but because they are overwhelmed with love from people who owe them nothing. This is Iran that no newspaper headline will tell you about. Number 4. Iran's bizarre cuisine, where lamb's head and saffron appear together on the same table. To truly understand Iran, you must taste its two extremes, the food that horrifies you and the food that haunts you. Stepping into a casual restaurant in Tehran at 6 a.m., you'll witness something most foreigners can't stomach: an entire lamb's head floating in a bowl of piping hot broth. This is kale pache, the legendary Persian breakfast soup simmered overnight with whole lamb heads and legs. Eyes, brain, tongue, hooves, nothing goes to waste. Truck drivers, construction workers, and old men all drink this before sunrise, believing it will give them the strength of 3 men for the whole day. The first time you see it, you'll feel nauseated. The second time, you begin to understand that it's not strange at all, but an ancient tradition. Iranians have been eating this soup for over 1,000 years, long before refrigerators existed, and it became a Western luxury. Now, let's turn things around completely. Step into any dessert shop on a summer evening, and you'll find a tiny golden marvel. Persian Bastani, Sonati saffron ice cream. Imagine the deepest yellow you've ever seen, fragrant with handcrafted rose water, topped with crushed pistachios, and garnished with crisp, melt-in-your-mouth frozen strands. This dish evokes the flavors of an 18th-century Persian garden. Foreigners often eat in silence, then quietly order a second portion. Between these two extremes, the boiled lamb's head and saffron cream embody the very soul of Iran, a civilization that survives by extracting beauty from the harshest ingredients and harshness from the most beautiful. Number 3. Iran's strangest festival. While some countries celebrate with fire and mourn with mud, others celebrate with fireworks. Iran celebrates with fire itself. On the last Wednesday night before the Persian New Year, every street in Tehran, Isfahan, and Shiraz transforms into a fire show. Small bonfires were lit along the walkways, in the alleyways, their flames echoing in front of houses. And then, one by one, millions of Iranians leaped straight through them. As they flew through the smoke, they chanted an ancient incantation, "My yellow is yours, your red is mine." It means, take away my sickness, my fear, my misfortune. Give me back your fire and your life. This is Cheharshanbe Suri, the fire festival, an ancient ritual predating Islam by more than 1,000 years, surviving through every empire, every invasion, every regime that has tried to ban it. The Islamic Republic still officially discourages it, but Iranians participate despite everything. Now head south to Khorramabad. On Ashura, the holiest day of Shia Islam, the air becomes thick with something heavier than smoke. Here, men don't light fires. They smear themselves with mud. At dawn, hundreds of men gather in the streets, mixing earth with distilled rosewater and pouring the black, viscous mixture over their heads until their entire bodies disappear beneath the thick, cracked mud. They walked in silence. They wept. They mourned the death of Imam Hussein, killed in the Karbala desert more than 1,300 years ago. Mud was not clothing. It was a visible expression of grief, a way of saying, "Today I am nothing. I am only sorrow." 2 festivals, 1 people. One festival of cremation by fire, the other of burial in the ground. Both pointed to the same thing, a memory older than the country itself. And the next morning, they awoke and lived by a code of conduct as ancient as the rituals themselves. Number 2. Ancient customs are embedded in every Persian greeting. In Iran, what you do with your body language is more important than what you say, and foreigners break the rules within the first 10 minutes without even realizing it. Let's start with a greeting. When two Iranian men who are close friends, brothers, or business partners meet on the street, they don't shake hands, they hug and kiss each other on the cheek. Not once, not twice, but exactly 3 times. Alternating left, right, left, followed by a few minutes of asking about each other's families, health, work, parents, even pets. Ignoring any of these questions is considered cold, even impolite. A simple greeting, "How are you?" is considered polite to Iranians when addressing a stranger. Now sit down on a Persian rug for tea, and you'll discover the most invisible trap. Absolutely never stretch your legs so that the soles of your feet face someone else. For Iranians, the soles of the feet are the lowest, dirtiest part of the body, and pointing at someone is a subtle insult, equivalent to spitting on them. Iranians sit cross-legged, kneeling, or carefully folding their legs behind them. Tourists casually stretching their legs on the rug don't understand why the conversation suddenly falls silent. Next is the custom of taruf, perhaps the most beautiful and enigmatic custom in all of the Middle East. When an Iranian offers you something, food, a gift, or a ride, they may refuse your money 3 times. Even if they really want it, you have to persevere 3 times. This polite and persistent refusal is not deceitful. It's a form of courtesy dating back 6,000 years, a way of respecting others without ever showing greed. Iranians don't just speak with words, they speak with their feet, their cheeks, with refusals that mean consent. But how much do you have to pay to live up to that politeness? Number 1. The actual cost of living in Iran. Why does $1 feel like $100? For an American walking into Tehran with a wallet full of dollars, Iran isn't a country, it's more like a financial time machine. First of all, forget your Visa and MasterCard. They don't work here. Every dollar has to be exchanged at the free market rate, the unofficial street rate, where one US dollar bill will turn into a thick stack of rials that barely fit in your pocket. Now let's see what that money can buy. A full Persian street food meal with falafel rolls or saffron kebabs costs only $1. Woo sure. A Vietnamese cappuccino at a small cafe in Tehran is about $1. A subway ride is 5 cents. A city taxi ride via Snap, Iran's Uber-like ride-hailing app, rarely exceeds $3. And a modern one-bedroom apartment in the affluent northern Tehran costs between $300 and $500 a month. The same area in Manhattan would cost $4,000. For that same distance, a freelancer in the US could rent a penthouse, hire a maid, eat out every night, and still spend under $900 a month. A life that anywhere else would require a 6-figure salary, but here's the strangest thing. Tehran streets are statistically safer than most American cities. Hit the like button if you've watched this far, subscribe to the channel to follow the next country we explore, and share this video with anyone who still thinks they know about Iran through the news.
Ada skórę, bo może kocham.